Just take those old records off the shelf.
All right, Student Union Study Hall, episode 3. Another week of college basketball in the books. Let's see what we got on the cards. First topic, John Calipari. A lot of news about Coach Cal lately. I don't even know where to start. So, Luke, do you want to start with this?
I will. So, DeMarcus Cousins getting traded, bringing two big SEC, probably two of the best SEC or Kentucky players to come out of there in 10, 15 years, I'd say. Davis and Cousins together on the same team, that's a dangerous front court, and I think it's a huge mismatch for the Golden State Warriors, especially if they face them in the first round. And I've seen a lot of stuff about Coach Calipari leaving Kentucky and going there. I mean, it's very interesting to think about. You got John Wall hitting free agency here soon, along with Eric Bledsoe, who's a really good guard as well. I'm not keeping it out of the realm of possibility because he's already been to the NBA and he sucked it up there. But if you look at, for an example, Pete Carroll, he was college, then went to the pros and sucked, went back to college, and now he's with Seattle. He's lighting it up all over the place. So I have no problem with those rumors. I think it's a very, very big possibility, although he'll reject those rumors. Another thing is last night at the Missouri game, him getting heckled right before the half and then walking away from the reporter. I mean, the student section was doing their job last night in Missouri, and I'll applaud that all the time.
That was funny stuff.
I'm honestly just surprised that there was a student section at the Missouri game, because normally when I watch a Missouri game, there's about 15 people there, and they all look like they want to kill themselves. So, glad that. Here's the thing. You mentioned that Cal was a bad coach. Cal was a horrendous coach in the NBA his first time around. Went 72 and 112 in the beginning of a third season before he got kicked to the curb when they started 3-17. The reason he's been able to do well in college is because he always has the best players. He has 3 or 4 lottery picks on his team every year, and he's only been able to win one national championship despite the fact that he's going up against teams that a lot of them don't have any. And so he's not going to have that sort of talent advantage in the NBA no matter where he goes, especially not in New Orleans, because last time I checked, their backcourt right now is Drew Holiday by himself. So they got to do something about that. I think even if they were able to go get like John Wall or something, just the way the NBA is moving, I don't think that the Twin Towers is the best way to go. But I don't know. I think Cal's going to stick with what he knows and stay in college, and I think that it would be to his benefit to do that.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting to see that that two of his old players unite instantly. They're trying to there are rumors of him heading out to an NBA team. I don't see that happening so quickly. What I find interesting about all this is what Colin Cowherd had to say the other day, who most people normally don't agree with his opinion, but it was interesting nonetheless. He mentioned that all of the NBA players that have played under Cal really haven't gone to do much in the NBA. So I'm interested to see what Boogie Cousins and Anthony Davis together will be able to pull off. Maybe Cal will eat his words. If Cal will be a part of that equation, I don't know. Let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. Mark Gottfried fired at NC State. The interesting part about it is that he's going to go on to coach the remainder of the season. Austin, thoughts?
My hope from all this is we get a repeat of 1983. NC State pulls it together. Dennis Smith just goes bananas. They win the ACC tournament. They go win the national championship. And then they're in a really awkward spot. Mark Gottfried flips him the bird on the way out the door with his ring. That being said, that's not going to happen. Mark Gottfried, he was kind of in an impossible spot because NC State fans don't realize that it isn't 1983. They're not what they used to be. They had a good run for a few years. But if they think that they're a blue blood and that they should be, if 2 Sweet 16 appearances in 4 years isn't enough, if you're expecting to get to the Final Four every year and you're NC State, I don't really know what to tell you. That's not a realistic expectation to have. I don't know who they think they're going to get. One interesting idea that I have heard is that to avoid getting fired, Tom Crean could pull a Jamie Dixon and just leave Indiana and go to NC State. So, yeah, I sucks for Gottfried, but NC State fans are delusional. I hope they continue to be terrible.
Luke?
I don't like his firing at all. I mean, he's been there 5, 6. This is 6th year, I think, right now, and he's made it the NCAA tournament in 4 of those years, and he's gone 122-83. In you could probably say the toughest conference in all of college basketball, considering you have North Carolina, Duke, Louisville, and Virginia that are always usually tournament teams. I mean, I don't
And
see,
Boston College.
yeah, Boston College, but I don't see why. I mean, he's not doing well this year. He was all right last year. Wasn't nothing to brag about, but this is a pretty solid coach, and the program itself historically isn't dominant, so I don't know why they'd expect dominance every year out of him. I just think it's a dumb fire, and I do like how John Calipari backed him up the other night in his press conference and kind of stood up for him a little bit, but that's all I got for him.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a case of the program holding this coach to higher standards than the program's actually capable of. And, I mean, it's easy to see why that happens in the ACC. You're surrounded by winners. But at the end of the day, I think he was a good fit at NC State, and I'd really like to see him go out on a high note. Do I think they'll pull a Cinderella story and win the ACC tournament? No, but it'd be really interesting to see. And I think if that happens, that's a lesson as to why you should cut ties with your coach early to avoid those awkward situations. Let's get into this next topic. March Madness, closer and closer every week. What are we thinking about the Power 5 conferences? How many tournament berths do we think we're getting from each conference? Who wants to start with this?
So are we just going to go like by conference and name each team we got, or?
I say we go by conference.
Yeah, might as well. I don't think you have to name out every team, maybe the interesting ones, because
right.
I feel like by the time it gets back around to me, it's going to be kind of beating a dead horse.
Yeah. All right. Austin, you can go.
All right, we'll go Big Ten first. I had 7 teams. Luke, what'd you have?
I had 6 teams in, with Minnesota getting in after kind of having a really good start to the year. They sucked it up in the middle and starting to pull themselves back together right in time. This is where you want to get it going before the tournament. So,
who'd you not have in? Did you not have Michigan State or Michigan?
I didn't have Michigan State in.
Okay.
Sorry, Chris Schneider.
I think there's room for both of them.
I think that the NCAA tournament selection committee is some sort of clause in there they have to put Tom Izzo in every year and give him Coach of the Year at least every 3rd year.
So you don't have Michigan in then, Austin?
No, I do. I have Michigan and Michigan State in.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Do you have 7, Williams?
Yeah, to make 7 teams, Michigan and Michigan State to round it out. What about the ACC? That's what everyone's talking about because this is looking like one of the best conferences we've seen in many, many years.
Right now I have 9 teams from the ACC in with Virginia Tech, Miami, and if Syracuse can beat Duke tonight, right now they're trailing by 1 with 6 minutes left. I think they'll probably get in. This would be a nice win for them.
Awesome.
I had 9 as well. I don't think it's the same 9. As of right now, I don't have Georgia Tech in the tournament. I think they have an opportunity to win some games, particularly in the ACC tournament. They could play themselves in. But, I mean, the obvious ones plus Miami, Virginia Tech, and Syracuse I all had in.
I think 9 is realistic for the ACC. I believe the record for tournament berths is 11. So for the sake of argument, if they were to get to 11, the 2 teams you're looking at are Georgia Tech and then Wake Forest, who, obviously record not up there, but they've got that John Collins guy who's one of the most exciting players in the NCAA, and it'll be a shame to see him not in the tournament. I don't think that'll happen, but for the sake of them getting to that 11th spot, Wake Forest would be the team. What do we want to go with next? Big 12?
Sure. Let's dig into that crap conference.
Big Ten says what? Okay.
So in the Big 12, I had 5 teams making it with Oklahoma State being one of them. They're firmly on the bubble, but they're bouncing back nicely after having a miserable losing streak in the middle of the season. Like, they couldn't have played any worse, but hey, they're back, and the record's not horrible yet. They'll need to do some damage in the Big 12 tournament, but I think Big 12 gets 5 in with OK State right there on the bubble.
Could not disagree more. I got the Big 12 getting 7 teams in. Easy.
Oh,
Shocker.
I think for sure you got Kansas, Baylor, West Virginia, Iowa State, Oklahoma State's a lock. And then I got K-State also a lock. I think Tech is on the bubble right now, but I think they have 3 winnable games closing the stretch. I think if they win 1 or 2 of them, which I think they will, then they're in the tournament. TCU's another team on the bubble. I think the most they could get is 8. I think it'll be 7. I don't think TCU's in yet. They don't have a marquee win to really put on their resume, but I think Big 12 gets 7. What about you, William?
I think I'm right in the middle of you guys. I got 6 teams, with the final team being either TCU or Kansas State. Leaning towards Kansas State on that one. Like you said, I don't think TCU's done enough to prove their playoff berth quite yet. What else we got now? SEC? That's an interesting one.
SEC and Pac-12 are the 2 conferences we have left. SEC, I got 4 crawling into the tournament, and probably the only teams that are going to make damage are Kentucky and maybe Florida, but even Kentucky looks like a pretty crappy team right now, especially after their performance last night at Mizzou.
It's just Calipari's distracted. He's trying to go to the NBA.
Yeah,
he's not focused on what it should be.
He's got a big
working on his podcast.
Paycheck waiting on his desk there. SEC, or I have South Carolina and Arkansas getting in as well, so 4 from the SEC for me.
Yeah, we actually agree. I had the exact same 4 teams in.
Yeah, exact same thing over here. But you guys know I'm a big South Carolina guy, so I'm interested to see if they can make waves in the tournament because they're an athletic team that just has had a lot of trouble finishing. And I think if they hit their shots, there's no one they can't keep up with. So they'll be an interesting team. I wouldn't count them out. Moving on, Pac-12. How many teams you got, Luke?
4 again. Arizona, Oregon, UCLA, and USC. I don't like any of the bubble teams really from that conference. I don't really like that conference at all, actually. I didn't know, though. I heard something the other day that the Pac-12 hasn't had a Final Four team in 10 years or something like that.
That's interesting.
That's UCLA in 06.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, 06 with
that was
Kevin Love
back,
was that
man.
team? Was he on
Russell
that?
Westbrook.
Oh, love that, man. Yeah, so I got 4 getting in.
I had 5. I had Oregon, UCLA, USC, Arizona, and Cal. I think Cal's done enough to get in, but I think they're kind of on the bubble.
Yep, I had 5 too, including Cal, with them on the bubble. Anything else we have to say about conferences? Any mid-major teams you want to see in there?
I guess we didn't talk about the Big East, really, but...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I kind of forgot about them, actually. But,
As did everybody.
Who doesn't? They're going to take up some spots, definitely, though.
Yeah, I miss the old Big East with Kemba Walker's step back over Pitt. Oh, my favorite play in college basketball history. Love that, man.
That's the good stuff.
Kennard's got it for terrible possession.
Thank God.
All right. Syracuse has 5 seconds. 4,
Go.
3, 2, for the win.
You hit it?
Oh, my God!
He hit it.
Yes! No
Wow.
way! Unreal! Duke is not back! Duke is not back! Yeah!
All right. So let's get into it. Is Duke back? We had to wait for the end of the Syracuse-Duke game. And what an ending we just got. With about, I want to say, 7 seconds left on the clock, Luke Kennard throws up an absolute clunker. Syracuse takes the ball down the court. Their breakout point guard, John Gillen, pulls up, hits a nasty 3. No time left to take the win. That blew my mind. I was going to say Duke was back, but now I'm thinking otherwise. Austin, what are you thinking after that?
Duke, I'm still saying Duke is back. Syracuse is a tough place to play. What is not back is Coach K's ability to drop end-of-the-game plays. That was horrendous. I'm watching it again right now. That Luke Kennard shot, that was a Scott Drew special of have one guy dribble the ball around the entire shot clock and then throw up a prayer. Also, props to Jim Boeheim for not calling timeout on that last possession. That's a veteran coach's move. Let your best player get on the court and make something happen. But I don't think a 3-point loss at the buzzer at Syracuse has caused to sound the alarm for Duke. I still think they're good. They'd won, 7 or 8 in a row up until then.
On a tear.
They've been on a tear. I still think they're good. I think that from a talent standpoint, I'd say they're the most talented team in the country. Jason Tatum, that dude can flat out ball. He's so good. The things he can do down the low post and step out and shoot. I don't know. I'm afraid of him come January. Kennard's been lights out. Grayson Allen's finally starting to play well. Tonight was rough, but I'm still not ready to sound the alarm. Duke is back. They have been back. They're still back.
Luke, our resident Duke hater.
Yeah, so coming into right before the show, I was going to say Duke was back, but I'd like to thank Jim Boeheim and the boys for keeping the faith alive. Duke is not back, and even if they are remotely good for a second, they'll take it away just like that. It doesn't matter what happens because they're going to drop one to a mid-major team in the first round of the NCAA tournament anyways, as I've been saying for the last couple weeks. So absolutely not. Duke is not back.
Well, there you have it. I don't know what to say. Duke, the wind is out of Duke's sails after their win streak. I'm a Duke guy, Grayson Allen guy, and I just hope to see this light a fire under them, and maybe they'll be on top of their game come the tournament. So we'll see. And that should about wrap it up for Is Duke Back? Alrighty. So next, let's get into our picks of the week. Austin, I believe you're 1-1. Luke is sadly 0-2, and I am, as predicted, 2-0. I'll start with my pick since that's been a lucky way to go so far. I've got South Dakota -5, another team no one's heard of or probably watched a game this whole year. But go Coyotes! They're besides Gonzaga, the best team against the spread this season, sitting at 19-7 against the spread, which that's just money you don't see too often. Austin?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with what's working. I got Gonzaga -22.5 at San Diego. Gonzaga rolled San Diego at home by 36 points early in the year. They've been lights out. They've had to won their last 5 or 6 against the spread. Best record in the country against the spread. I mean, I until they lose, I don't know. I'm just going to keep throwing the house at Gonzaga because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I'm going to stick with it.
Fair enough. Luke?
I'm pretty much... I'm not good at picking, apparently. We're not doing too hot in Austin and I's column, weekly sports gambling locks for Saturdays either, and 0-2 in this. But, I'm leaning on Cincinnati this Thursday, -12.5 at home against Memphis. Cincinnati only has 3 losses this season, and they only have 1 in conference play, and that's pretty remarkable. I know the AAC isn't the old Big East, but they have some pretty good teams in it, Xavier, UConn, SMU. So I think Cincinnati will get this one and cover for me this week for the first time in a really long time.
We'll see what happens. Hopefully Luke breaks this streak. You know where to go if you want money. South Dakota -5. And we'll see if Austin can break even. That's about it for this week's Student Union Study Hall. We'll see you next week. Take it easy.
Yeah.